الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. وعن أبي ذر رضي الله تعالى عنه قال: كنت رديفا خلف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوما على حمار فلما جاوزنا بيوت المدينة قال: كيف بك يا أبا ذر إذا كان بالمدينة جوع تقوم عن فراشك ولا تبلغ مسجدك حتى يجهدك الجوع. قال: قلت: الله ورسوله أعلم. قال: تعفف يا أبا ذر. قال: كيف بك يا أبا ذر إذا كان بالمدينة موت يبلغ البيت العبد حتى إنه يباع القبر بالعبد. قال: قلت: الله ورسوله أعلم. قال: تصبر يا أبا ذر. قال: كيف بك يا أبا ذر إذا كان بالمدينة قتل تغمر الدماء وأحجار الزيت. قال: قلت: الله ورسوله أعلم. قال: تأتي من أنت منه. قال: قلت: والبس السلاح. قال: شاركت القوم إذن. قلت: فكيف أصنع يا رسول الله؟ قال: إن خشيت أن يبحرك شعاع السيف فالق ناحية ثوبك على وجهك ليبوء بإثمك وإثمه. رواه Abu Dawud. My dear respected and honorable listeners, carrying on from the DARS of Kitabul Fitan in the book of Mishkat, today's hadith is from Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says, كنت رديفا خلف رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يوما, that I was the co-traveler with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on a donkey. فلما جاوزنا بيوت المدينة. So this shows the humility of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that he would travel on a donkey. Then he says, فَلَمَّا جَاوَزْنَا بُيُوتَ الْمَدِينَةِ, when we passed the houses of Medina Munawwara, he said, كَيْفَ بِكَ يَا أَبَا ذَرٍ, how will it be with you, O Abu Dharr? إِذَا كَانَ بِالْمَدِينَةِ جُوعٌ, when there is hunger in Medina Munawwara. So here a point to note, that they are traveling, him and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam are traveling, but he is still carrying on teaching. So even despite they are traveling, still Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is utilizing the time and teaching him and educating him and informing him of fitna and the frightening fitnas which will take place after the Khilafat, after the Khulafai Arba'a. So he says that when there will be hunger in Medina Munawwara, where you arise from your bed but do not make it to the mosque until you are overcome with hunger. There will be such hunger that you will not even be able to leave your houses and go to the masjid. قال قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. Hazrat Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that I said, Allah and His Rasul know best. That this was the habit of the Sahaba Ikram radiyallahu ta'ala anhum, when our Prophet, whenever he asked them a question, despite even they could suggest an answer, they would always say, Allah and His Rasul know best. That this is the respect when you speak to someone knowledgeable and an elder, that even if you know the answer, you should stay quiet and let them speak. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, Ta'affaf ya Aba Dharr, that have patience, O Abu Dharr, stay pure. قال كيف بك يا أبا ذر. Then our Prophet said again, how will it be with you, O Abu Dharr? إذا كان بالمدينة موت يبلغ البيت, that when there will be a widespread of death in Medina Munawwara, there will be a time when there will be so much death in Medina Munawwara, يبلغ البيت العبد, a person would have to sell his slaves in order to secure a grave. حتى إنه يباع القبر بالعبد, and to an extent that he would have to sell he would have to give his slave in return to secure a grave. So here the muhaddithin mentioned that what does it mean that they would have to get graves in exchange of slaves? That one opinion is that the price of graves would be so expensive that it would be very difficult for normal people to buy and to purchase a grave, to an extent that the slaves which they have in the houses, they would have to sell them and give them away in order to buy a grave. And another explanation is that there will be so much death, and it would be very hard to find somebody who could dig a grave because they are so busy. And just recently there was an article in a newspaper in India, in Hyderabad, that a person said for 6 months he has not been home, constantly digging graves. So these are in similar times we are in now, that it would be so difficult to find somebody to dig graves that they would have to give up their slaves in return to get them to dig a grave for them. And then another explanation is that there will be so many houses that will be deserted. Nobody to buy the houses. People would have the houses, but they would find people to buy the houses. And this is a situation in many countries where the houses are empty. There's nobody there to buy the houses. And the houses would be so cheap that what people would do is that they would say that take this slave or take this house and give us your slave. قال قلت الله ورسوله أعلم. Hazrat Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said that I said Allah and His Rasul know best what we would do in this situation. Then our Prophet said, تصبر يا أبا ذر, have patience O Abu Dharr. قال كيف بك يا أبا ذر, how will it be with you Abu Dharr, إذا كان بالمدينة قتل تغمر الدماء أحجار الزيت, that what will you do O Abu Dharr, that when there will be such bloodshedding in Medina Munawwara, that the Ahjar al-Zayt would be covered with blood. So Ahjar al-Zayt, it is a place in Medina Munawwara where it is a mountain which is black, and it's so shiny that it's as if Zayt is olive oil. It's like somebody has sprinkled oil on the mountain, on the stones. And that stones and those mountains will be covered in blood. And this our Prophet ﷺ is referring and indicating to a time that came after the demise of our Prophet ﷺ, when in the time of Hazrat Hassan radiallahu ta'ala anhu, so Hazrat Hussein, that at the time of Yazid, he killed Hazrat Hussein radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and there was a lot of killing in Medina Munawwara. A lot of Sahaba lost their lives, and this is known as the Waqi of Harra, which took place in the 63rd year of Hijrah. Even though Hazrat Abu Dharr radiallahu ta'ala anhu passed away in the 32nd year of Hijrah, our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam made him aware. So our Prophet knew these events would take place, but he never knew exactly when it would happen. So these times then came, and it was very difficult for the people in Medina Munawwara. قلت الله ورسوله أعلم, that I said Allah and His Rasul knows best what I would do in that situation. قال تأتي من أنت منه, that you must go to those who are like-minded to you. That in this situation you must go to those who are like-minded to you. So again here there is a difference of opinions between the scholars that what does it mean to go to people who are like-minded. Some say that it is best to then go to the people who have the same religion to you, or to go to the people of your family and of your offspring. Allama Tibi rahmatullahi alayhi mentions that the most, and which is the most fitting and the most preferred opinion, is that in this situation you should obey the leader in those which is right, in those things, whatever he orders you, you should obey your leader, and that is how you will be saved from fitna. قال قلت ألبس السلاح. Hazrat Abu Dharr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that in this situation, should I equip myself? Meaning, should I equip myself with armor and with weapons? Then our Prophet said, شاركت القوم إذن, you have then associated yourself with the people. Meaning, you should never ever go towards killing and go towards taking people's lives, become physical, but in these times you should have sabr and turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then I said, فَكَيْفَ أَصْنَعُ, what should I do, O Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? So our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنْ خَشِيتَ أَنْ يَبْحَرَكَ شُعَاءُ السَّيْفِ, that if you are afraid that the gleam of the sword may dazzle you, then put the end of the garment on your face. لِيَبُوءَ بِإِثْمِكَ وَإِثْمِهِ, so that the one who kills you may bear his sin and may bear your sin. So you should not kill, and even if you are made to use your weapon, then you should never resort towards killing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to act upon what has been said.